How does that work again? How did that work again?
That's all they're gonna hear when I put the recording back on. You know, this section is usually for staff only. Oh god, I've missed editing this shit. You know, this section is usually for staff only. I'm just looking for Remy, and I'm supposed to drop off this PDA. Well, he's not working today. Apparently, he has other engagements. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home. Okay, jeez. Can't I just leave the PDA here? Oh, I'm not going to take responsibility for this. If it gets lost, if you want to drop it off, go find him. Okay. I've perfected her voice. By the way, I hope you do not take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I'm glad you're still here. Remember I said that I believed you when you told me your side of the story? I always have had... Oh, Jesus. I always have... Oh. Okay, hang on. Oh. I always... Let me just grab a fucking drink before I fucking pass out, Jesus.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go. I always have to do what is in the public's best interest, and now they will not blame me if they. Oh my fucking god!
You're failing so hard right now.
And now they will not blame me if you have any connection with Risa. I hope you can understand that. Here is Remy's address, in case you need it. The wine bottle. The wine bottle. Thank you.
What? No.
I'm gonna install the mod. I'll do it. Wine bottle. Oh, pardon me. Oh, it's you. I don't think it's a good time for you to visit right now, though. Is he drunk?
No.
I just came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emma refused to let me drop it off here. I see. Oh, it's one of the PDAs. I was really looking forward to this. Well, here you go. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy. Are you actually kidding me?
What?
Is that...
What?
Oh my god. Oh, no, hang on. I know where it is. It was meant to... If I romanced him, I would have got the special scene. Okay, no.
No, it would have been if you would be mean to him. You would have gotten another scene.
Would he stab me?
No.
Ah, okay then. To the facility?
You may see it in another walkthrough. If you date him and be rude to him.
Yes. When I approached down his lab, I saw her sitting in a hallway, the door of her lab wide open. Hey, Anna. Oh, it's you. What's going on here? It's none of your business. Okay then. Hold on.
Gesundheit.
Oh dear. Let me quick save, just in case. What do you want anyway? I was going to drop this evidence off for you, courtesy of the police. The police? You know what? You can track back and tell them they can do the test themselves if they think they can play games with me. I guess that's a no then. Love you too, darling. Some idiots complain they mess up... Hang on, I forgot her voice. Some idiots complain they mess up my place. Some idiot complains they mess up my place, then turn around and ask for my help. Is that a joke? Bastards, the whole lot of them. What the heck are you still doing here? Go and tell them now. Sheesh, right, I'm going. You better. Are you fucking... Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'm afraid that's not the case. I brought the bandage back. What? Why? Wait, did we leave on bad terms? Wait, why did we leave on bad terms?
The bad terms were before that, but that's normal. And also, she's not gonna do that because the police raided her place.
Oh.
That's a normal thing that happens every walkthrough.
What? Why? I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently the police raided Anna's lab, so she wasn't in the condition to accept it. It was Maverick, wasn't it? Is that so? Strange. I hadn't heard about this. I'll have to talk to the others. Actions like these would restore the Reza case, and that's not something we can afford right now. Oh, I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Yes, it was. Stop lying. Hey, you told me not to lie, but I'm lying. See? It was meant to be a vacation.
It wasn't meant to be a vacation.
Alright, Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. Ungrateful bastards. Right. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and collapsed to the floor. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Again? Oh, this is not smexy. The next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. Not the first time, I assure you. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. Please be a woman. Please be a woman. I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you, it was the easiest way. Where am I? Is this your hideout? Are you some sort of Scooby-Doo villain? Do I get to go home? Can I have a chainsaw cannon? Can I go kick someone in the dick?
What?
Just a temporary accommodation so it can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently. And I care why. Do you know who I am? Well, you're not Reza. Good. What did it take for you to figure that out? Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it clearly in your voice. I had a feeling that you couldn't be him since the first time we met, though. Which first time are you talking about? The generator in the ceiling, when you pushed me. I see. You can call me the administrator. They have their own...
The administrator.
Oh boy. No other humans are supposed to be here, though, I assume. I assume that's why you're wearing the mask. You don't want to be recognized. That is correct. Whoever you are, you also saved my life. On more than one occasion. Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You couldn't have come through the portals. The dragons would have noticed. This is where you're wrong. My arrival through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place. Is that so? When I crawled out from the hole in the earth that hit the portal, there were no guards to discover me. My appearance exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet. So, you arrived even before Reza. That makes you the actual first human to come to this world. That is more true than you might think. Just who are you then? I may have arrived through the portal, like you, but my story is very different. So I'm guessing another universe found the portal, he came through it, and that's why he's here now.
You're gonna find it out later.
I hope it's a woman. Please be a woman. Please be a woman. Please be a woman. Please be a woman.
Long text scene.
Oh boy. Let me take a swig of my drink.
And I mean really long text.
Is it? Okay, I'm gonna save. Before the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of the team that was formed to create bioweapons. Oh, great. Fucking stick some anime eyes on him. Jesus. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where their development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. These weapons were planned to be the low-cost alternative for poor countries to wage war, so they would no longer have to rely on expensive drones and machines for warfare. I was to set up a lab where our bioweapon development would take place. It was a clandestine operation set to be in the middle of the wilderness. The laboratory was an independent research and living unit, provided everything we needed without having to rely on external resources or even existing power grid. So they're basically a section of the Foundation.
Yep.
That's not classified information. Well, I don't think. It'll be redacted if it is.
It will be redacted later on. Also, you're the one that employed them, so... Meh!
Keck. Everything was to be teleported right into the middle of nowhere, with no traces or paper trail to follow, so international communities and law enforcement would have no idea of our operation. Our only connection to the outside world after the setup would have been a two-way portal to our headquarters, who would provide everything we needed. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting a whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was a matter of compression technology, incredibly expensive, but operating in the grey market was also very lucrative. The grey market is basically, I think it's like tech, and like...
The grey market, some sort of war weaponry.
Sorry, eating crackers. Alright. The technology behind it was much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes with a beginning and end, that's not... No, it's wormholes. You would literally destroy most of the solar system if you use black holes. With a beginning and end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes was very complicated to begin with, but this shape required much more finesse, and thus was much more expensive. Yeah, black holes. Ugh. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab, and the portal so the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it is possible to use a teleport to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it is not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there. But as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous. A single variable by a fraction could mean the difference between landing safely at your destination and smothering in space. Space! Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen. Not necessarily for my own sake, but because of the unfathomable expensive equipment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong. Despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk is a fraction of a fraction, sometimes you were just that unlucky. And sometimes it turns out that your bad luck is a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth. It was not a destination that had been planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless, I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare the building and I would have shelter and then begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into working order would take more time as it was a complicated process that would take several weeks. If things had gone wrong as I suspected, I would at least be able to establish contact with HQ after the portal had been set up, and I would be able to return. While teleporting the lab to the wrong location was certainly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I'd arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago. Wait, how the fuck? What? We knew that by utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was a theoretical possibility. It was something even my company didn't dare to attempt. Though teleportation in itself was very new technology. Yet there I was, 65 million years in the... pardon me. Oh, not very dramatic, is it, when someone burps? Yeah, here I was, 65 million years in the past, with a research station all to myself. The company would revel in the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. If only I knew about them. If only they knew about them. I spent a few weeks in a portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish contact with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present For a black hole, sending something through time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals, we gave them specialized configuration. It was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis. That meant that in the past, I would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterparts in the present, though, would not be able to find them in the past, even if they tried. But I couldn't find them. Not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its function, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, portals from the company should have been there to connect with. Ugh. It was then that I had a terrible realization. The portals in the present didn't exist anymore, or they were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting the lab caused them to reconsider the risk of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that they would have immediately shut down every single portal, left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places and in the present. In my mind, only one possibility remained: superweapons. Various nations had been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think the threats had become that serious, but one of them must have launched their weapons and destroyed the majority of Earth. Or someone spilt a drink on the machines and,
Yeah, malfunctioning.
Could you imagine that? A coffee cup is what caused all this?
Mm.
Like a coffee spill is what caused all this bad shit?
Yeah.
It could have been the result of a malfunction, or perhaps the political situation had escalated. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. I could have sent myself back into the present with the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavour, and I also had to ask myself if it was a present I wanted to return to. I was sure that if anything was even left of our Earth, the aftermath of a possible retaliatory strike would take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realise that whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. It made my decision all the easier. All the more easier. That would be a spelling mistake. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization, shaped by my own ideals. He's got a bit of a god complex, hasn't he? I had all the necessary data, and most modern methods and machines had my fingertips. Besides, most of the processes had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, fusing humans and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal, but possessed a greater intelligence that allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to. We, you mean you. As I didn't have any animal samples sent with me when I initially arrived, I collected them from the sources available to me. Automated processes mixed the DNA further across the samples. New abilities were added like enhanced armor, flight, and spirit weapons to make the new creatures more effective in combat. The result was a number of different species which each tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in war situation. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth, and with Lab's learning program they would be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency. They needed the kind of knowledge that would enable them to come together as their own, independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all processes in the lab was more than helpful. Oh, sick AI. I unleashed the first generation of my creation, and as their leader, founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off, and once I saw that they could survive without my guidance, and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success. Whew! When I realized that this new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it. Destroyed? What are you talking about? Haven't you realized where we are? The chick. Oh my god! Oh boy. Oh. I didn't realize. I did not realize. Okay. We haven't traveled that far into, we've traveled really far into the past, but time-wise, we're still in, we're just past the prehistoric period, when, mammals and shit started, growing. These dinosaurs replaced them. So, oh my god, I'm a fool. I am the fool. Hang on. Just need to check. Whoop whoop.
Wait, did you get a rank there?
Yeah, I got a approval team status. Yes. Anyway, yeah, the moment he mentioned the asteroid, I was like, yes. Okay. With the diameter of over 10 kilometers, its impact will create humongous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a literal dark age. They will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants that rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will also vanish. Oh no. Okay, we're at the point before the mammals, before the recovery stage of the Earth.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. As will those who sought sustenance from these herbivores. All in all, 75% of all species will vanish, and in terrestrial ecosystems, all animals heavier than a single kilogram will die. That would be 2.2 pounds in case you didn't know. Oh gosh. It will be the end of everyone who lives here. Every single dragon you have seen unless we do something. We? What am I supposed to do? Do you not wish to save them? I came here to help humanity. Now you tell me that this society, this whole world, is also on the brink of extinction. That is the truth. What kind of difference could a single person like me, Dr. Bright, wanting a chainsaw cannon, also
You're not gonna get that.
Fuck you. You can't stop me.
No, you.
Right now, it's also a single person that presents its greatest threat. Reza, how? Oh no, wait, I said that wrong. Reza, how? In order to stop the comet, we will need as much power as possible. We reclaimed all the generators he stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference to something like this? Don't forget that Reza is still out there looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we could gather would ever be enough. We only require enough power to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment. And even if this plan is possible, we will need every single generator we can get. So my goal hasn't changed. I just need to find Reza. Yes, but you'll need my help. Maybe the help of others. You know what? Reza is dangerous, and with his gun, he clearly has an advantage. Nah, I'm immortal, so I'm fine.
But not his body.
That is true. That is true.
And don't forget, if the planet gets destroyed and everything dies, your internet will have a bad time.
That is true. Wait, would I possess the planet?
Nah, the
I will
planet is
become the living
thing.
planet.
You may possess a tree.
Yay! The Lord Bung tree from you remember the containment breach?
Yeah.
Turn into one of those. Don't think that he wouldn't hesitate to kill you if you were in his way. I'm fine. I've got that covered. Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is? Oh wait, I was doing the administrator's voice. No, but I think you'll find him soon, and you can count on my support when that happens. I see. There's one thing that still doesn't make sense to me though. The dragons have myths about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't seen any humans on who knows how long. How much time could have passed since you created them, and how? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence? I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly how long it's been myself. When I realized what time period I was in, and that my creation was about to be wiped out in the future, I wanted to go to the future and see what they had become. I disabled the portal's time axis safeguards and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also includes that very same portal in the future. With the generator of our lab able to supply the portal of power for an indefinite amount of time, I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and end point of the black hole would be the same place and the same portal, with the way traveled being just along the time axis. Since I would now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped. The comet. The comet? Exactly. I found that specific point in time and travelled to a future that was as close to that event as I could safely manage. After I have survived here, my escape from the portal's hiding place led to its discovery by the dragons. it and the laboratory were nerfed. I still don't understand how our portal found yours, or why we ended up arriving at this particular time period. The portal you found was no doubt one of my companies. There must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for the connection already existed when you found it. I'm not sure if that could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards, though. Was it completely operational when you found it? No, it took a little bit of tinkering. Probably jumping the hardware safeguard in the process. Now consider that connected portals travel along a time axis together. The data for their beginning and end points are adjusted automatically. Otherwise we won't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another, without also sending it through time. Since these two portals have been connected to some point, the corresponding data for the connection between those two portals already existed. When using the same connection... Jesus Christ, man, take a fucking breath! When using the same connection, without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between those two portals, time time still progressed linearly for them. I'm not sure I understand. Let me try and rephrase the portal you found and my own share a connection. However, while the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is at the very moment, it is not connected to a specific point in time. For us and the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly, and we can't do anything about that. However, for the black hole, this isn't the case. Just as their entry and endpoints can be different in different places, they can also be in different times. In order to send something through time, we just want to transport something from one portal to another. These portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized. Essentially, this means that ever since you arrived in the world, the same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the place where you came from. I see. So despite being in different time periods, time still passes linearly on both sides of the portals. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on other sides would stay connected not only to a single point in space, but also a single point in time, thus making proper two-way communication impossible. However, this is only possible for the connection that has already been forged if we wanted to. We could also use our portals to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Riza even arrived here. But that would mean there would be two of me, right? Wouldn't that cause a time part? No, that's not how it works. I can only tell you that it would work. No one has studied time travel before though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely, an entirely new timeline will be created. There we go. There would be a timeline without a Dr. Bright altogether. No! A timeline where I don't exist? No!
That sounds like heaven. That sounds like heaven.
That's classified?
Yes.
Hang on. These fucking crackers, man. And in the new one, there would be two of you. This is becoming way too complicated. I apologise. To come back to your original question, I'm not sure how much time passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how variables translate to our perception of time. Could have been thousands or even millions of years. How could a portal even its power source still be in operation after all that time? The portal receives its power from the generator in the lab. These units were fitted with an absolute best technology we had to offer, Ex Machina. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any already existing network or power lines. It gains energy from many sources: sun rays, Earth's heat, and movement, just to name a few. Keep in mind that it had to power a whole laboratory and a research station, but also provide the energy required for all of its inhabitants and associated energy expenditures. Ugh! Taking its power from Earth itself, a generator like this could continue providing power to the lab indefinitely, unless it was destroyed. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived? It seems that the Dragon Society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt on their own for sustenance and such. The original species they were based on have mostly vanished, as in direct competition. Ours proved to be far superior. Also, they have probably taken measures against having big predators roam their cities and villages. Yet while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I have found that by and large, the society as a whole has not changed much. Is that why everything here looks like it was made for humans? I suppose so. The learning program I initiated gave me them knowledge about things and how to create them. Hang on, I accidentally misclicked. Yet of course, those were only human inventions and designs. Did they never stop to think that they would just adjust how certain things look? A lot of furniture and objects I have seen were very impractical for a dragon. I was surprised at that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. Their idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age. After reaching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal and be unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also play a role. I imagine they were very much at odds with their learned behaviors. Instincts in animals never change, and instinctually behaviors will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into their genome as an instinct, it is not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here. While I initially made them learn a certain set of values and knowledge, I have found that the expression of those ideas has hardly changed. And after I was gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time. The genome as a whole did change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones. While I can see subtle changes in behaviors as a result, some traits are still very much present in them. They're content with what they have and don't strive for more. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or new inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value tradition and their ways, which have not changed much in all these years. I see. How much time do we have until have to stop the comet? In a few weeks, the comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory towards Earth. This is when we will need to be ready. If we strike, then we need to minimally affect its path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely. It won't be enough for the inhabitants for this world to prepare. If Frieza steals our greatest asset, it won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Frieza steals our greatest assets. So it's all about Frieza and the generators, isn't it? Indeed. By the way, I fixed the portal in case we need to use it. Did you break it to prevent it from being sent away? No, that wasn't me. Frieza better not use it to escape. Trust me, the portal is our greatest asset. I have programmed it with emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation, feel there is no other way out, go to the portal. I have made sure only you will be able to use them. I will keep that in mind. So, is that how New Game Plus works? I just go back in time?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what's your plan? What do we do now? I will resume my work, and you will continue yours. Find Risa. The administrator turned to leave. Wait, what's with all the secrecy? Why is he still wearing that mask? Why don't we pool our resources together and you show me your hideout? Don't you think it would be better if you were completely frank with me? No, not now. A second later, the figure had vanished into the darkness outside. When I followed, I realized I wasn't sure how to get back to my apartment. Surrounded by trees and the blanket of night, it was hard to make out where I stood. After wandering through the underbrush, I realized the lights on the horizon. Had to be coming from the village, and made my way back. I returned to my apartment without much trouble. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to see how much time had passed. Not having anything left to do for the day, I soon fell into a deep slumber.
So, much text.
I'm gonna take a little break. I'm feeling a little lightheaded because of how much fucking reading I did. If that's okay with you, because Jesus Christ.
Sure.